Good morning, students. Welcome to Best College Online Lectures. In this video lecture, we are going to discuss about the reproductive cycle in female primates, which already we started in last class. Now we will discuss the complete information about the reproductive cycle in female primates. Okay, as already I mentioned, the reproductive cycle in a female primate is known as menstrual cycle. Menstrual cycle. The reproductive cycle in a female primate is known as menstrual cycle. In this, what are the various concepts we are going to discuss? As already mentioned in last class, before going to discuss that, what is definition for this menstrual cycle? Write down the definition for menstrual cycle. Write down a complex of rhythmic changes, a complex of rhythmic changes, a complex of rhythmic changes, a complex of rhythmic changes takes place in female reproductive system, takes place in female reproductive system, female reproductive system of primates. Female reproductive system of primates is known as menstrual cycle. So, what is menstrual cycle? A complex of rhythmic changes takes place in the female reproductive system of primates is known as menstrual cycle. So here I gave you a word, rhythmic changes. What is the rhythmic change here that you have to notice? See, rhythmic or rhythm means any activity which will be repeated with a particular time gap or with a particular time interval. Any change that will repeat with a particular time gap or with a particular time interval is known as rhythmic change. So here, the menstrual cycle in primates will repeat with a particular time gap. Okay, so the complex of rhythmic changes takes place in female reproductive system of primates. Which are primates? Commonly, you all know that monkeys, apes, and human being. Okay, monkeys, apes, and man. Monkey, ape, and man are the primates. In monkeys also, mainly old world monkeys. Old world monkeys are the primates. These old world monkeys, the monkeys which are mainly living in Africa and Asia. Africa and Asia are the old world monkeys. In this old world monkeys, there is menstrual cycle, and also in apes, anthropoid apes, gibbons, orangutans, gorillas, and chimpanzees. Gibbons, orangutans, gorillas, and chimpanzees, and man. All these are the animals which belongs to order Primata. Order Primata. So it is known as primate. So in these primates, the reproductive cycle is known as menstrual cycle. The reproductive cycle of primates is known as menstrual cycle. During this menstrual cycle or during this reproductive cycle, there is a complex of changes takes place in the reproductive system of female, which will be repeated with a particular time gap, with a fixed interval. Okay, that will be repeated. So that you have to notice here. So what is menstrual cycle? The complex cyclic activities which will be repeated with a particular time gap in female reproductive system of primates. In female reproductive system of primates is known as menstrual cycle. Okay, so that you have to note this here. And what is the time period required for the menstrual cycle? Actually, it is 28 days or 28 to 29 days. Usually, maximum of 28 to 29 days it will take. Okay, in primates. Or you may see in some of the books they mention 28 to 30 days also. 28 to 29 days. Within 28 to 29 days, this all cyclic changes which will take place in the female reproductive system will be completed. Okay, so that you have to remember in the menstrual cycle. What is menstrual cycle and what is the time period required to complete one complete cycle? Okay, that is 28 to 29 days. See, this menstrual cycle in female human being will begin after menarche. It will begins from menarche. Menarche is the first menstruation. So the first menstruation which takes place after puberty is menarche. So from menarche to menopause, this will take place. Okay, menarche to menopause. The menstrual cycle takes place between menarche to menopause, except during pregnancy. Except during pregnancy and lactation, there is no menstrual cycle. Okay, so during pregnancy 9 months there will be no menstrual cycle, and after that it will depends upon the lactation period of the mother. A maximum of 6 months during lactation, that is the production of milk by the mammary glands of a female. During that period there will be no chances for the menstrual cycle. So as already I mentioned, if a female will get one kid, one baby, how many months there will be no menstrual cycle? How many months there will be no chances for production of ovum? A maximum of 15 months there will be no chances for production of ovum. There will be no menstrual cycle during the 9 months of pregnancy, and after pregnancy a maximum of 6 months during lactation period there will be no chances for menstrual cycle or ovulation, that is the production of ovum. That you have to remember, right? In each menstrual cycle, there is production of one ovum at middle of the cycle. At middle of the cycle, in each menstrual cycle, how many ova will be produced? A single ovum will be produced in human being. In human being, at the middle of the cycle, there is production of one ovum. So ovulation takes place at the middle of the cycle. At the middle of the cycle, there is production of one ovum. One ovum will be produced during the middle of the cycle. That you have to remember here. And after that, one more. In this menstrual cycle, 4 hormones play an important role. 4 hormones play a vital role. What are the 4 hormones? There are 2 pituitary hormones and 2 ovarian hormones. As already I gave you, what are the pituitary hormones that play an important role in the regulation of menstrual cycle? FSH and LH. What are that? FSH and LH. And what are the ovarian hormones that play an important role in the regulation of menstrual cycle and that will causes for a repeated cyclic events? That are progesterone and estrogen. The 2 ovarian hormones, estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen and progesterone. So this also you should remember. What are the hormones involved in the regulation of menstrual cycle in a female primate? That is 2 pituitary hormones which are secreted by adenohypophysis or anterior pituitary, FSH and LH. And after that, 2 ovarian hormones also play a vital role in this, estrogen and progesterone. Okay. And already I mentioned there are 4 phases in the menstrual cycle of a primate. What are the 4 phases that we have to discuss? And after completion of that 4 phases, next we will discuss how to represent the menstrual cycle in human being in the form of a graph. The graphical representation of menstrual cycle in human being. That also we'll discuss at last. First, we will discuss about the 4 phases here. There are 4 phases in the menstrual cycle of a female primate, especially in human being. So here, the phases of menstrual cycle, phases of menstrual cycle, the phases of menstrual cycle. In this, there are 4 phases. The first phase here is menstrual phase, which is commonly known as menses, menstrual phase or bleeding phase. Menstrual phase or bleeding phase is the first phase. Menstrual phase or bleeding phase is the first phase. In 28 days of menstrual cycle, a single cycle takes place in 28 days. In that, this menstrual phase takes place from 1st to 3rd or 5th day, maximum of 5 days. It will take place between 1st beginning of menstrual cycle to 3rd or 5th day of menstrual cycle. It is menstrual phase or bleeding phase or menses. And after completion of this menstrual phase, the second phase is proliferative phase. Proliferative phase or follicular phase or pre-ovulatory phase or estrogenic phase. Estrogenic phase. The second phase in the menstrual cycle is proliferative phase or follicular phase or pre-ovulatory phase or estrogenic phase. So that is the second phase. And after completion of second phase, the third phase here is, so before going to that, what is the time required in between which days this proliferative phase or follicular phase takes place? It begins from 6th day of menstrual cycle and last on 13th day of menstrual cycle. So 6th to 13th day, 8 days. So 6th to 13th day, that is proliferative phase or follicular phase. And after that, the third phase here, ovulatory phase, where the release of ovum takes place. Ovulatory phase. In this phase only, the ovum will be released. As already I mentioned, at the middle of cycle, this phase takes place. If the menstrual cycle will be completed in 28 days of time period, what is the middle of day? 14th day. So it takes place on 14th day of menstrual cycle. 14th day. And after completion of that, the next phase in the menstrual cycle, that is secretory phase. Secretory phase or luteal phase. Luteal phase, secretory phase or luteal phase or post-ovulatory phase. Post-ovulatory phase or progesterogenic phase. Progesterogenic phase. progesterogenic phase. So the fourth phase in the menstrual cycle of human being, that is secretory phase or luteal phase or post-ovulatory phase or progesterogenic phase. Progesterogenic phase. Now here if you observe one thing, this last phase, that is secretory phase or luteal phase, takes place between 15th day of menstrual cycle to last day of menstrual cycle, that is the 28th day of menstrual cycle. So from 15th to 28th day of menstrual cycle, which phase is there? There is secretory phase or luteal phase or progesterogenic phase or post-ovulatory phase. So 20 days of menstrual cycle is divided into 4 phases. The 28 days of menstrual cycle is divided into 4 phases. The first phase, menstrual phase or bleeding phase, it takes place from first day of menstrual cycle and it will be last on 3rd day or 5th day of menstrual cycle. A maximum of 5 days of time it will take. Okay, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th day. Right. After completion of that, from 6th day to 13th day of menstrual cycle, proliferative phase or follicular phase or pre-ovulatory phase or estrogenic phase takes place. And after completion of that, ovulatory phase. It is the shortest phase where the release of ovum takes place. That takes place at the middle of the cycle, that is the 14th day. And after that, secretory phase or luteal phase or post-ovulatory phase or progesterogenic phase, which is the longest phase, in the menstrual cycle, and it takes place between 15th to 28th day of menstrual cycle. 13 days it will take. Okay, so first 5 days, 8 days, only 1 day, and 13 days. Okay, total 28 days it will take place. That we have to remember here. Is it clear? What are the phases? Just I mentioned here, what are the phases in the menstrual cycle of a female human being, right? So after completion of that, once again listen ma, what is the definition for the menstrual cycle? I gave here the menstrual cycle. A complex of rhythmic changes takes place in female reproductive system of a primates. It includes old world monkeys, anthropoid apes, and man. It will be completed in 28 to 29 days of time. And here, in the female, the first menstruation is menarche, and the last menstruation is menopause. In between menarche and menopause only, this menstrual cycle takes place, except during pregnancy and effective lactation. At the middle of cycle, there is releasing of one ovum, and in this menstrual cycle, 4 hormones play a vital role, that are 2 pituitary hormones, FSH and LH, and 2 ovarian hormones, estrogen and progesterone. In female human being, the menstrual cycle is classified, that is divided into 4 phases. The first phase is menstrual phase or bleeding phase, which starts the menstrual cycle. The beginning of menstrual cycle will start from this menstrual phase. It takes place in between 1st to 3rd or 5th day of menstrual cycle. And the second phase is proliferative phase or follicular phase or pre-ovulatory phase or estrogenic phase. It will take place between 5th day to 13th day of menstrual cycle. And after that, ovulatory phase on 14th day it will take place, that is the middle of the cycle. After completion of that, secretory phase or luteal phase or post-ovulatory phase or progesterogenic phase, which is the longest phase, that takes place between 15th to 28th day of menstrual cycle. So that we have to remember here. And after completion of this, now we are going to discuss about all the phases in detail. Okay, so I just gave you the names of the phases. Now we are going to discuss about the complete details of this and what are the various changes that takes place in the female reproductive system during that phases. We will discuss. Okay, so here we will start this. One thing we have to remember, so the hormone levels, especially the progesterone and estrogen level in the body of a female, causes for various cyclic changes in the menstrual cycle. So progesterone level and also estrogen level, mainly in this, progesterone level play an important role. Okay. For example, we will see to maintain the endometrium of uterus. To maintain the endometrium of uterus, as already I gave you, endometrium is the inner layer of uterus. To maintain this endometrium, which hormone is essential? That is progesterone. Okay. So, if there is sudden drop in the progesterone levels in the body of a female, what will happen? There is no chances for the maintenance of endometrium, that leads to breakdown of endometrium or degeneration of endometrium. So, for the maintenance of endometrium, progesterone is essential. Whenever progesterone levels will suddenly drop or decreases, that leads to breakdown of endometrium. The endometrium will be breakdown or endometrium will be degenerated, that is inner layer of uterus. So this degenerated endometrium along with damaged cells, endometrium, that is inner layer of uterus, the degenerated endometrium along with cell debris, that is the damaged parts of cell, and the capillaries also break down. If endometrium will break down, the blood capillaries which are present in that also break down. So that that broken capillaries leads to internal bleeding, release of blood. Okay. So here, whenever the progesterone level will decreases, immediately what will happen? That leads to degeneration of endometrium, and these degenerated parts of endometrium along with cell debris and blood that is released because of breakdown of blood capillaries will send out through the vagina in the form of menstrual flow. In the form of menstrual flow that takes place in the first phase of menstrual cycle. In the first phase of menstrual cycle, what will happen here? See, first phase, that is the menstrual phase. We are discussing about the menstrual phase first, which is also known as the phase of bleeding. It is the indication of beginning of menstrual cycle. It is the indication of beginning of a new menstrual cycle. Okay. So in this menstrual phase, what will happen? Due to sudden drop or due to sudden decrease in the hormone levels, which hormone level? Progesterone level, the endometrium will be degenerated. Endometrium will be degenerated. The endometrium here, that is the inner layer. For example, Sima, it is the uterus. In this uterus, the inner layer is endometrium, right? To maintain this endometrium, which hormone is required? Progesterone is required. Progesterone is required. Now, if progesterone levels will be decreases, if there is sudden drop in the progesterone level, what will happen? This endometrium will be breakdown. Endometrium will be breakdown or degenerated. These all degenerated parts of endometrium along with cell debris and the blood which is released by the breakdown of capillaries, all will send out through the vagina in the form of menstrual flow. Okay. So here the bleeding phase or menstrual phase is the first phase. In this phase, what will happen? In the hormone levels. So hormone levels are less or hormone levels are decreased, especially progesterone level is greatly reduced in the body of female, which is required for the maintenance of endometrium of the uterus. If progesterone levels will be suddenly reduces, or if there is a drop in the progesterone level, what will happen? If there is sudden drop in the progesterone level, or if there is reduce in the progesterone level, that leads to degeneration of endometrium of the uterus. Degeneration of endometrium of uterus, that you have to notice here. Okay. Is it clear? Right. After that, what will happen? The degenerated parts of endometrium along with the degenerated parts of endometrium along with cell debris and blood will send out through the vagina in the form of menstrual flow. So what is the indication of beginning of menstrual cycle? That is the beginning of menstrual flow. Here in this, the progesterone level will be greatly reduced. We will mention all this with the help of a graphical representation later. Just understand all the phases. So what will happen? Progesterone levels drops or progesterone levels decreases, then what will happen? Progesterone levels will suddenly drop or decreases. That leads to degeneration of endometrium of uterus. Endometrium of uterus. Degeneration of endometrium of uterus. Okay, that leads to menstrual flow. In which days of menstrual cycle this takes place? From first to third, or that will depend upon the hormone level. Third or fifth day of menstrual cycle. First to third or fifth day of a menstrual cycle. So, what is the indication of beginning of menstrual cycle in a female human being? That is menstrual flow or bleeding. So here one thing you should remember, whereas in the menstrual cycle, when the hormone progesterone level will be suddenly drop or decreases, that leads to degeneration of endometrium, and this leads to menstrual flow. The degenerated parts of endometrium along with cell debris and blood will be sent out through the vagina in the form of menstrual flow. It will be completed within 3 to 5 days of time in the menstrual cycle. Okay. So here what happened? How is the hormone level? Hormone levels are less, especially which level ma? Especially progesterone level is very, very reduced. Okay. So that takes place in the first phase. Right. Before going to discuss next phase, one information you have to know about the endometrium here. In the endometrium of uterus, it is endometrium of uterus. In this endometrium of uterus, there are two layers. We can notice two layers here. So there are two layers in the endometrium of uterus. So the inner layer here, it is stratum functionale. Stratum functionale. Stratum functionale. And here this layer, stratum basale. Stratum basale. So there are two layers, stratum functionale and stratum basale. In this, one layer will continuously undergo cyclic changes, degeneration and regeneration in every menstrual cycle. But one layer is always fixed, that cannot undergo any changes. That is the stratum basale. So in the endometrium of uterus, we can notice two layers, stratum functionale, stratum basale. So which will undergo cyclic changes, stratum functionale. So stratum functionale always undergoes cyclic changes, which will be degenerated and which will be regenerated, stratum functionale. But which is constant layer that cannot undergo any changes, that is the stratum basale. So stratum basale is the innermost layer that is located closer to myometrium of the uterus, and this stratum basale cannot undergo any cyclic changes, but stratum functionale will undergo repeated cyclic changes. So which will be degenerated and which will be regenerated continuously. That is a stratum functionale, which is a constant layer of endometrium, stratum basale. Is it clear? In the two layers, both layers cannot undergo cyclic changes. One is a constant layer, that is stratum basale, and which is the layer that will undergo cyclic changes, stratum functionale. So that also you will notice here. Stratum functionale of endometrium will be degenerated and also regenerates after later. Okay. Right, menstrual phase is completed, which is also known as the bleeding phase, that is completed. After completion of this menstrual phase, as already we discussed in the hormonal regulation of female reproductive system, I told you whenever the hormone levels reduces in human body, that act as a stimulus for the hypothalamus. That will show a positive feedback mechanism on the hypothalamus. Then hypothalamus secretes gonadotropin releasing hormones. Gonadotropin releasing hormones. That gonadotropin releasing hormones will act on anterior lobe of pituitary. That leads to secretion of FSH and LH. FSH and LH. So here the hormone levels in the body of a female show both positive feedback mechanism and also negative feedback mechanism. In menstrual phase, how is the hormone levels? Hormone levels are very less, or there is a sudden drop in the hormone levels in the body of a female or in the blood of a female. Then what will happen? That act as a positive feedback mechanism, that act as a stimulus for hypothalamus of the brain. Then hypothalamus will release gonadotropin releasing hormones. That gonadotropin releasing hormones will act on anterior lobe of pituitary or adenohypophysis. Then what will happen? Then FSH and LH will be secreted. FSH and LH will be secreted. So in next phase, what will happen here? The second phase here, proliferative phase or follicular phase. So it is follicular phase or proliferative phase. In this follicular or proliferative phase, what will happen? That we will see here. In follicular phase or proliferative phase, due to reduce in the hormone levels in menstrual cycle in the menstrual phase, that act as a positive feedback mechanism or that act as a stimulus to hypothalamus. Whenever hormone levels will be reduced in the blood of a female body, that shows a positive feedback mechanism on the hypothalamus, that act as a stimulus for hypothalamus. Then hypothalamus secretes gonadotropin releasing hormones. As already I gave you the hormonal regulation of female reproductive system. So whenever the hormone levels are reduced in the blood of the body of a female, that leads to stimulate and hypothalamus secretes gonadotropin releasing hormones. Then what will happen? This gonadotropin releasing hormones will act on anterior pituitary. Then what will happen? This anterior pituitary will secrete two hormones. What are the two hormones here? FSH, that is follicle stimulating hormone. Another one is LH, luteinizing hormone. So that takes place in the second phase. In the second phase, what will be the hormonal changes takes place? In the second phase, due to less concentrations of hormones in the blood of the female body, hypothalamus starts secreting gonadotropin releasing hormones. That gonadotropin releasing hormones will act on anterior lobe of pituitary or adenohypophysis. Then adenohypophysis will secrete FSH and LH hormones. So in the body of female, which hormones will increase now? FSH and LH first. So in the follicular phase or proliferative phase, hormone levels will start increasing. Here very less. Now here in this second phase, FSH and LH levels will slowly increases. Okay. So after increasing the levels of FSH and LH, what is the function of FSH and LH here? See, FSH, the name itself suggests the function. FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. So FSH will act on the ovarian follicles of the ovaries. Ovarian follicles of the ovaries and causes for the development of ovarian follicles into primary follicle, secondary follicle, tertiary follicle, and finally a matured Graafian follicle will be formed in this phase. A matured Graafian follicle will be formed. So what will happen in this phase by action of FSH? By the action of FSH, the ovarian follicles will grow in size and modifies into a matured follicle or Graafian follicle. Because of that, this phase is named as follicular phase. What will happen in this? The growth of follicles takes place and formation of Graafian follicle takes place. So a matured follicle or Graafian follicle will form in this phase. Because of that, it is known as follicular phase. Is it clear? So in this phase, due to low concentrations of hormones, hypothalamus secretes gonadotropin releasing hormones. That gonadotropin releasing hormones will act on anterior pituitary or adenohypophysis. Then anterior pituitary secretes FSH and LH. FSH will act on ovarian follicles of the ovaries and stimulates follicle stimulating and stimulates the growth of follicles. That stimulates the growth of follicles. So whenever the follicles will grow, and that will finally convert into a matured follicle, which is known as Graafian follicle. A matured follicle is Graafian follicle. So Graafian follicle will form in this phase. So it is a follicular phase. Next, what about LH? What is the action of LH? So here LH, luteinizing hormone, will act on ruptured endometrium or the degenerated part of endometrium. LH will act on degenerated part of endometrium. Degenerated part of endometrium. Is it clear? So the degenerated part of endometrium will undergo repeated mitotic divisions by the action of LH. These repeated mitotic divisions are known as proliferations. The repeated mitotic divisions here are known as proliferations. Okay, what is the action of LH? LH will causes for proliferation of degenerated part of endometrium. As already I gave you, there are two parts in the endometrium. Which will be degenerated? Stratum functional will be degenerated. But stratum basal is there still. Okay, LH will act on that stratum basal and causes for repeated mitotic divisions or proliferative divisions. Whenever there is repeated mitotic divisions, there is increase in the number of cells. Finally, that leads to reformation of endometrium or regeneration of endometrium. Reformation of endometrium or regeneration of endometrium. So, luteinizing hormone will act on the degenerated part of endometrium and stimulates proliferations or repeated mitotic divisions in the degenerated endometrium that leads to regeneration of endometrium. Regeneration of endometrium or reformation of endometrium. So it is known as proliferative division. Sorry, proliferative phase. So why it is proliferative phase? Here proliferations takes place, repeated mitotic divisions to regenerate or to reform the degenerated endometrium takes place. Because of that, it is proliferative phase. Is it clear? There is increase in the levels of two pituitary hormones, FSH and LH. FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. This hormone will act on the ovarian follicle and stimulates the growth of ovarian follicle. That leads to formation of a matured follicle or Graafian follicle. So it is a follicular phase. And the hormone LH, luteinizing hormone, will act on degenerated part of endometrium and causes for repeated mitotic divisions, which are known as proliferations. Because of these proliferations, there is regeneration of endometrium takes place. Reformation of endometrium takes place. That we have to notice here. Regeneration of endometrium. Is it clear? Regeneration of endometrium takes place here. The two actions are done. But one more thing you have to know here. Whenever FSH stimulates the growth of follicles, the primary follicle will convert into secondary follicle will convert into tertiary follicle will finally modifies into a matured follicle, that is Graafian follicle. As already I gave you, in the secondary follicle, there is formation of two theca layers, theca interna and theca externa. Theca interna and theca externa. See, theca interna starts secretion of estrogen. Theca interna starts secretion of estrogen. This you have to notice here. As already I mentioned, LH causes for stimulation of proliferations. But along with LH, one more hormone plays an important role here. That is estrogen. Estrogen. So very important. Than LH, which hormone play a vital role in the regeneration of endometrium is estrogen. So how this estrogen level increases in this phase? The growing follicles secretes estrogen hormone, especially the theca interna of growing follicles. From secondary follicle to mature follicle, there is theca interna. In secondary follicle, tertiary follicle, graphene follicle, theca interna is present. This theca interna starts secretion of estrogen. So this estrogen is essential for the proliferative divisions. So in the degenerated that are stimulated by LH, but that will be provoked, that will be enhanced by the estrogen. So LH hormone will stimulate proliferations, but which will causes for provoking of the proliferations are a rapid increase in the mitotic divisions finally leads to regeneration of endometrium, estrogen. So with the combination of LH, estrogen play a vital role. Estrogen play a vital role in the increasing of mitotic divisions or proliferations that finally leads to reformation or regeneration of endometrium. Reformation or regeneration of endometrium, right? That you have to notice here, Mark. What are the changes that done here? There are two changes takes place simultaneously in the ovary and uterus. Very important. In proliferative phase or follicular phase, in two different organs of reproductive system, two different events takes place simultaneously by two different hormones. So here, what are the simultaneous changes that takes place in the uterus and ovary? In the ovary, what will happen? In the ovary, by the action of FSH, the ovarian follicles will grow in size and modifies into graphene follicle or mature follicle. And what will be the changes that then in the uterus? In the uterus, by the action of LH and estrogen, the degenerated part of endometrium will restart proliferative divisions, proliferations that leads to reformation of endometrium. So two important events takes place simultaneously in two different organs of the reproductive system. What are the two important events that takes place in this phase? One is formation of graphene follicle, another one is regeneration of endometrium. So formation of graphene follicle takes place in the ovary by the action of FSH, and the regeneration of endometrium takes place in the uterus by the action of LH and estrogen. So ovary secretes the estrogen at the time of growing of follicles. This ovary secretes estrogen also. So in this phase, there will be increase in the levels of three hormones. There will be increase in the levels of three hormones. What are that? Two pituitary hormones and one ovarian hormone. What are the two pituitary hormones? FSH and LH. So the levels of three hormones will increase here. What are that hormones here? FSH, LH, and the estrogen levels are increases. But in menstrual phase, all hormone levels are very low. But in follicular phase or proliferative phase, how is the hormone levels? There is increase in the level of FSH, LH, and estrogen. Three hormone levels will increases in this phase. And this phase takes place between which days of menstrual cycle? From 6th to 13th day of menstrual cycle. 5th to 6th to 13th day of menstrual cycle. Follicular phase or proliferative phase, which is also known as estrogenic phase. It is also known as the estrogenic phase. Why? Because the estrogen levels also increases. The secretion of estrogen begins. Along with that, the levels of estrogen will increases. Right? Is it clear? Okay. So in second phase, that is follicular phase or proliferative phase or estrogenic phase or pre-ovulatory phase. After this phase only, the ovulation will be done. After this phase, which phase will start? Ovulatory phase. Because of that, it is the pre-ovulatory phase. Before releasing of ovum, this phase takes place. So it is the pre-ovulatory phase. In this phase, the two vital changes takes place in two different organs simultaneously. One in uterus, another one in ovaries. In ovaries, the growth of ovarian follicles and formation of matured or graphene follicles takes place. Whereas in uterus, the regeneration of endometrium takes place. In this phase, the levels of three hormones will increases: FSH and LH levels. Along with that, estrogen level will increases. So that is the second phase, which is known as proliferative phase or pre-ovulatory phase. Right. After completion of that, the next phase here, the shortest phase, the next phase in the menstrual cycle of a female human being, that is ovulatory phase. It is the shortest phase where the release of ovum takes place. Ovulation, the release of ovum from the Graafian follicle into body cavity. The release of ovum from the Graafian follicle into body cavity. What will happen in this phase? As already mentioned, in human being, there is no release of ovum, which will release us in the ovulatory phase. That is secondary oocyte. Secondary oocyte. That you have to remember, right? That's clear. And after completion of that, the LH levels, the LH hormone levels reach to peaks or reach to its maximum. Reach to its maximum in this phase. The luteinizing hormone levels will reach to its maximum, or the peak levels of LH hormone we will notice in this phase. LH hormone concentration will reach to peaks, or that will become maximum. The maximum levels of LH is known as LH surge. LH surge. What is LH surge? The maximum level of luteinizing hormone or the peak is known as LH surge. Whenever the levels of luteinizing hormone, will reach to its maximum. Whenever the levels of luteinizing hormone reach to its maximum, that is known as LH surge. LH surge. Is it clear? LH surge. Right. So in this level, in this phase, which hormone will reach to maximum in the body of a female? Which hormone will be more in concentrations? Which hormone will be more in concentrations? That is luteinizing hormone. Whenever luteinizing hormone will reach to its maximum or peaks, that is known as LH surge. By this maximum or more concentrations of LH, what will happen? As already we discussed, LH hormone, when reached to its maximum or peaks, that will act on the membranes that present around the secondary oocyte in the Graafian follicle, that leads to rupture of various membranes present around the oocyte in the Graafian follicle. So whenever LH will reach to its maximum, that is LH surge, whenever LH surge takes place, what will happen? Whenever LH surge takes place, then that leads to rupture of Graafian follicle. Rupture of Graafian follicle, and by the rupture of Graafian follicle, what will happen? By the rupture of Graafian follicle, the secondary oocyte will releases into the body cavity. In human being, the secondary oocyte releases into body cavity. The secondary oocyte releases into body cavity. The secondary oocyte releases into body cavity, which is known as ovulation. So what is ovulation? In human being, the release of secondary oocyte from Graafian follicle into body cavity. The release of secondary oocyte from Graafian follicle into body cavity is known as ovulation. Here secondary oocyte which already started meiosis 2, but that is arrested in metaphase. Already we discussed that. So the secondary oocyte which already began meiosis 2, but which is arrested in metaphase, will releases into the body cavity along with two membranes. What are the two membranes that present along with the secondary oocyte? Zona pellucida and corona radiata. Zona pellucida and corona radiata. Now that will be released into the body cavity. So which is the hormone that is responsible for the ovulation? LH. LH is responsible for the ovulation. That is the release of secondary oocyte from Graafian follicle. Which hormone leads to rupture of membranes present in the Graafian follicles, leads to release of secondary oocyte? That is LH. When it takes place, whenever LH will reach to maximum, on which day of menstrual cycle LH will reach to its maximum? That is on 14th day. So it will be completed only on the 14th day of menstrual cycle. That's the middle of the cycle. Middle of the cycle that you have to know. Okay, on 14th day. But it may differ from female to female. It is not constant in all females. That will depends upon the hormonal regulation and hormonal levels of the body of a female. In some female, it may take place on 12th day or 13th day or 15th day, even 16th or 17th day also. So this ovulation is expected in between 10th to 17th, 10th to 17th day of menstrual cycle. That will depends upon the hormonal levels in the body of a female. So in between 10 to 17 days, in between 10th day to 7th day of menstrual cycle, this ovulation may take place. But as in a normal female, what we can expect on 14th day, ovulation, that is a releasing of secondary oocyte will be expected. But it varies from female to female. It may take place between 10th to 17th day of menstrual cycle. Because of that, to avoid the pregnancy or for birth control, in between 10th to 7th day, if copulation will be avoided. It is a natural method of birth control. It is a natural method of birth control which is known as periodic abstinence. Periodic abstinence method. That we will discuss in the next chapter, reproductive health. Okay. So in between 10th to 7th day, 17th day, there will be chances for the releasing of ovum if a female will avoid copulation or sexual intercourse between 10th to 17th day, then there will be no chances for pregnancy. Okay. So that you have to notice. So it is commonly known as unsafe period, unsafe period of menstrual cycle. So in between 10th to 17th day of menstrual cycle, where ovulation will be expected, between 10th to 17th day, which is known as unsafe period of menstrual cycle. Before this, that is 1st to 10th day is known as safe period, and after 18th to 28th day also known as safe period. But which is the unsafe period of menstrual cycle, that is the 10th to 17th day, where ovulation will be expected. That may lead to if copulation takes place during this period, that may lead to fertilization and pregnancy. In the birth control methods, in the natural method of birth control, if a couple will avoid copulation between 10th to 17th day, there will be no chances for pregnancy. That is periodic abstinence method. Periodic abstinence method. Absence of copulation between the 10th to 17th day of menstrual cycle. So that you have to remember. So the third phase also completed here. In third phase, which hormone will reach to maximum? That is LH. What about FSH and estrogen? FSH and estrogen is still constant. Okay. So their levels also slowly increases, but which will increase rapidly, that is LH. Still up to this, if you will notice, there is no increase in the level of progesterone. The level of progesterone is not started increasing. Okay. So now remember here, LH is ovulatory hormone. LH is ovulatory hormone because that is responsible for the rupture of Graafian follicle and release of ovum, ovulation. Okay. So next phase. So the release of ovum completed at the middle of the cycle. So from first day to 14th day of menstrual cycle, what happened here that we discussed. And after releasing of ovum, what will happen? After releasing of ovum, what will happen? That we will discuss after a short break. Welcome back, students. Let us continue the topic menstrual cycle, which already we discussed. In that, there are 3 phases we discussed. Now we will continue the last phase. Before going to that, here menstrual phase or bleeding phase, all the details of this we discussed. Follicular phase or proliferative phase, and after that ovulatory phase. Okay, that phases are completed. After completion of that, next, here one thing you should notice here. In human being, the ovulation takes place spontaneously without requirement of any copulation. So here ovulatory phase, in this ovulatory phase, there will be releasing of ovum at the middle of the cycle by the action of LH hormone that you know. Here, there is no need of any copulatory stimulus. Copulatory stimulus. So coitus or copulation is not required for the release of ovum in human being. That's secondary oocyte. But in some animals, the release of ovum takes place only after copulation. That is a physical intercourse between male and female. After coitus or copulation only, there will be releasing of ovum. Okay. So that type of ovulation is known as one second. Observe here in some animals. In some animals, like a rabbit, the release of ovum takes place only after copulation. That type of copulation is known as induced copulation. Induced ovulation. The release of ovum only after copulation. The release of ovum only after copulation is induced copulation. Induced copulation takes place in some animals like rabbit. In the rabbit, only after copulation or coitus only, there will be releasing of ovum. So ovulation will be induced by the copulation. The release of ovum will be induced by the copulation. So that type of ovulation is known as induced ovulation. But what about in human being? In human being, there is no need of copulation or coitus or ovulation. It takes place spontaneously. So it is spontaneous ovulation. So in human being, this type of ovulation we can notice spontaneous ovulation without requirement of coitus or copulation by the action of pituitary hormones, that is the pituitary hormone LH, the ovulation will take place. So it is a spontaneous ovulation. We can notice 2 types of ovulations in animals, induced ovulation and spontaneous ovulation. In spontaneous ovulation, there is no requirement of copulation or coitus to release the ovum. But whereas in induced ovulation, the release of ovum takes place only after copulation. Only after coitus, the ovum will be releases. The ovum will be releases only after coitus. So that is induced ovulation. But in human female, there is no need of this copulation for ovulation. It is spontaneous ovulation that you have to notice here. In human, if they may ask in exams which type of ovulation takes place in human, that is spontaneous ovulation. Spontaneous ovulation takes place. And after completion of releasing of ovum, that is the ovulatory phase, what is the next phase here? The next phase here is luteal phase or secretory phase. secretory phase or luteal phase, or which is also known as post-ovulatory phase. Post-ovulatory means after releasing of ovum. Post-ovulatory phase or post-ovulatory phase or progesterogenic phase. Post-ovulatory phase or progesterogenic phase. What will happen in this phase? What are the various changes that takes place in the female reproductive system in this fourth phase? Okay, so that we have to discuss here. If you observe here in the ovulatory phase, there is releasing of ovum. Releasing of ovum takes place in the ovulatory phase. After releasing of ovum, what is the fate of ruptured Graafian follicle? After releasing of ovum, as already I gave you, this ruptured Graafian follicle will immediately filled with blood clot, which is known as corpus hemoragium. This corpus hemoragium will again modifies into an yellow color body, which is known as corpus luteum. Corpus luteum. So here, corpus luteum. Observe carefully. The ruptured Graafian follicle will modifies into a temporary endocrine gland, corpus luteum. So after ovulation, what will happen here? The formation of corpus luteum takes place. The formation of corpus luteum. So what is corpus luteum? The ruptured Graafian follicle will modifies into yellow color body. The ruptured Graafian follicle will modifies into a yellow color body, which is known as corpus luteum. As already I mentioned, because of yellow carotenoid lutein, it appears in yellow color. So by the secretion of this lutein, by follicular cells, this corpus hemoragium will turn into corpus luteum. Is it clear what is corpus luteum? Corpus luteum is a yellow color body formed by ruptured Graafian follicle. Important mark. Corpus luteum, the ruptured Graafian follicle after ovulation. After ovulation, the ruptured Graafian follicle will modifies into a yellow color body is known as corpus luteum. So after releasing of secondary oocyte, the ruptured Graafian follicle is modified into a yellow color body. Corpus means body, luteum. Lutein is yellow in color. So it is named as corpus luteum. What it means? Yellow body. Yellow body. What is the color of this? Yellow. Okay. So corpus luteum means yellow body. Yellow body. It acts as a temporary endocrine gland. It acts as a temporary endocrine gland. So after rupture of Graafian follicle, the ruptured Graafian follicle will modifies into a yellow color body that is known as corpus luteum. Corpus luteum acts as a temporary endocrine gland and it secretes progesterone hormone. So that secrete progesterone hormone here. That secrete progesterone hormone. Okay. So in secretory phase or luteal phase, what will happen here? The ruptured Graafian follicle will modifies into corpus luteum. The ruptured follicle will modifies into corpus luteum. So it is a luteal phase. There is formation of corpus luteum. So it is luteal phase, right? And one more thing we have to notice in the ovulatory phase, the levels of three hormones will reach to its maximum, especially LH level reach to its maximum. Along with that, there is increase in the levels of FSH and estrogen also. FSH and estrogen levels also high in the body. So the high levels of FSH, LH and estrogen act as inhibition or that can suppresses the hypothalamus. As I already told you, whenever hormone levels will reach to maximum or high levels of hormones will act as negative feedback, that will show a negative feedback mechanism. So in the ovulatory phase, the three hormone levels are high. FSH, LH and estrogen levels are high. In that which will reach to maximum LH. So whenever hormone levels are high, hormone concentration is high in the body, that show a negative feedback mechanism on the hypothalamus of the brain. Then what will happen? Hypothalamus will stop secretion of gonadotropin releasing hormones. So hypothalamus cannot secrete gonadotropin releasing hormones. If gonadotropin releasing hormones cannot be secreted, then anterior lobe of pituitary cannot secrete FSH and LH. FSH and LH cannot be secreted by the anterior lobe of pituitary. At the same time, the graphene follicle is ruptured. So there is no theca interna to secrete estrogen also. So after ovulatory phase, because of negative feedback mechanism, due to high levels of hormones, the hypothalamus stops secretion of gonadotropin releasing hormones. Then there will be no secretion of FSH and LH by adenohypophysis. At the same time, due to rupture of graphene follicle, there is no theca interna to secrete the estrogen. Because of that, in this phase, the three hormone levels will be reduced in the body. Which hormone levels will reduce here? FSH, LH and estrogen. Because that reached to maximum. That reached to maximum here. Right? That reached to maximum there. Is it clear? So in the case of secretory phase, there is reduce in the levels of three hormones, FSH, LH and also estrogen. But which hormone level will increases? Here in the secretory phase, there is formation of corpus luteum. So corpus luteum will start secretion of progesterone. So in the secretory phase, what will happen? The levels of progesterone will increases. Levels of progesterone will increases. The only phase in menstrual cycle where we will notice increase in the levels of progesterone is secretory phase. Is it clear? So here in the secretory phase, the ruptured graphene follicle will modify into a yellow color body which is known as corpus luteum. Corpus luteum acts as a temporary endocrine gland and it secretes progesterone. So progesterone level will be slowly increases in this phase. But due to its maximum levels in the ovulatory phase, which act as a negative feedback mechanism on the hypothalamus, hypothalamus stops secretion of gonadotropin releasing hormones. Then anterior pituitary cannot secrete FSH and LH, and there is a rupture of graphene follicle, so theca interna is not there for the secretion of estrogen. So in this phase, the levels of three hormones, FSH, LH, and also estrogen reduces. The levels of FSH, LH, and estrogen will be reduced. But the levels of which hormone will increases in the luteal phase? That is progesterone. So progesterone level will be increases, but the levels of FSH, LH and estrogen will be decreases in this phase. Is it clear? Right. If fertilization takes place, what will happen? If fertilization takes place, the corpus luteum will remain throughout the pregnancy and secretes the progesterone. So this progesterone is essential for the maintenance of endometrium, as already I mentioned. Progesterone is essential for the maintenance of endometrium. Actually, the progesterone will act on the glands, that is uterine glands. It will act on the tubular uterine glands. Progesterone will act on tubular uterine glands and stimulates the secretion of nutritive fluids by the uterine glands. Nutritive fluids. In this phase, after secretion of progesterone, progesterone will act on uterine glands. In the uterus, there are tubular uterine glands are there. So progesterone will act on these uterine glands and causes for secretion of nutritive fluids. Nutritive fluids. These nutritive fluids are essential for the maintenance of endometrium. For the maintenance of endometrium, these are essential. So if there is no progesterone, what will happen? The uterine glands cannot secrete these nutritive fluids. If these nutritive fluids are not secreted, that leads to release of prostaglandins into the uterus, which will be released. Prostaglandins will be released. Prostaglandins. So prostaglandins will be released into the uterus. Whenever prostaglandins will release into the uterus, that will causes for a severe contraction in the stratum functional of endometrium. Stratum functional of endometrium. Finally, that leads to breakdown of endometrium. Stratum functional of endometrium. That leads to beginning of a new menstrual cycle. Bleeding will begin, or menstrual flow will begin. Okay, that is an indication of a new menstrual cycle. So here, what will happen? Whenever there is a formation of corpus luteum secrete progesterone. Progesterone will act on uterine glands which are present in the uterus. That will secrete nutritive fluids. These nutritive fluids are essential for the maintenance of endometrium, right? And during these stages, it will observe whenever there is increase, especially in the second phase, there is a proliferative phase. No? From the proliferative phase, the thickness of endometrium will slowly increases. The thickness of endometrium will increases, and here we can expect the thickest endometrium. The thickest endometrium. To maintain that thickest endometrium and to increase the thickness of endometrium, these nutritive fluids are essential. These nutritive fluids are essential. If these nutritive fluids are not secreted, okay, so observe here carefully. Whenever there is no nutritive fluids, the endometrium will be degenerated by the action of prostaglandins. Why the prostaglandins will release here? To remove that stratum functional or to degenerate stratum functional. Okay. So already I told you the degeneration of endometrium takes place. Which part of endometrium will be degenerated? That is the stratum functional. Stratum functional is degenerated. Why this degeneration is required? Why the degeneration is required? Always. See, a fresh endometrium is required for the implantation. A fresh endometrium is required for the implantation. The uterine glands which are present in the endometrium or endometrial, we can say this also as endometrial glands. These endometrial glands must be fresh. Then only that will secrete all the required fluids for the development of embryo. Okay. So because of that, to form a fresh endometrium, if there is no fertilization, that endometrium should be degenerated again in new or a fresh endometrium will form for the implantation. So to degenerate endometrium, which will involve here prostaglandins. This prostaglandins will causes for a severe contraction in the stratum functional. Finally, that leads to breakdown of endometrium, and that will be sent out. That will be sent out in the form of menstrual flow. So here there is involvement of myometrium also. Myometrium will causes for contractions. The smooth muscles of myometrium will causes for contraction. Then only the degenerated part of endometrium will be sent out. So that you have to remember here what will happen if progesterone levels will be reduces or if progesterone will suddenly drop. So here, if progesterone is there, then progesterone will act on uterine glands. That leads to secretion of nutritive fluids. Then the endometrium will be maintained and the thickness of endometrium will be increases. Now the endometrium will be available for the implantation and embryonic development. If progesterone secretion will be stopped, then there will be release of prostaglandins into the uterus. That will causes for a severe contractions in the stratum functional of endometrium. Then the stratum functional will be degenerated and it will be sent out from the body through the vagina in the form of menstrual flow. That is the beginning of a new menstrual cycle. So here in this phase, what will happen? In this phase, the ruptured Graafian follicle will modify into corpus luteum. So it is named as luteal phase. and after that corpus luteum secretes the progesterone. So progesterone level will increases here. At the same time, this progesterone will act on uterine glands and leads to increase in the secretions of uterus, which will increase in the secretions. There is increase in the secretions of nutritive fluids. So here secretions takes place in the uterus, secretions takes place in the corpus luteum. At the same time, the vagina, in the vagina also there is increase in the secretion of mucus. So here, because of that, this phase is known as secretory phase. More secretions we can notice in this phase, because of that it is named as secretory phase. Is it clear? So corpus luteum formation is one of the very important event here. So it is a luteal phase. And corpus luteum secrete progesterone. Progesterone will act on uterine gland and stimulates the uterine gland. Then the uterine gland secretes the nutritive fluids into the uterus. And also there is increase in the secretion of mucus in the vagina. So overall, if we compare here, more secretions we will notice in this phase in menstrual cycle. Because of that, it is named as secretory phase. By the formation of corpus luteum, it is a luteal phase. Okay, and this phase takes place after ovulation. So it is a post-ovulatory phase. And which hormone will increases in this phase? Progesterone. Because of that, this phase is also known as progesterogenic phase. This phase is also known as progesterogenic phase. Okay, progesterogenic phase. Why it is progesterogenic phase? There is increase in the levels of progesterone or progesterogenic phase. Okay, what are the important events takes place here? Formation of corpus luteum, increase in the secretions in the uterus by uterine glands by the action of progesterone. Okay, so it is a secretory phase and luteal phase, and there is increase in the levels of progesterone. So we can say this is a progesterogenic phase, and this takes place after ovulation. So it will take place in between 15th to 28th day of menstrual cycle. So it is the longest phase in the menstrual cycle, which is the longest phase in the menstrual cycle. Okay, so that you have to remember here, it is the longest phase in the menstrual cycle, right? So it will take 13 days. 13 days in the menstrual cycle. It is the longest phase. If fertilization takes place, what will happen? If fertilization takes place, corpus luteum will be maintained throughout the pregnancy by the action of LH. So, which will helps in the maintenance of corpus luteum, LH. So here, if fertilization takes place, corpus luteum will be maintained throughout the pregnancy by the action of LH, and progesterone will secreted throughout the pregnancy, which will maintain endometrium of the uterus. If fertilization takes place, corpus luteum will be maintained throughout the pregnancy, and that will secrete progesterone. The progesterone will maintain endometrium of the uterus for implantation and embryonic development. If there is no fertilization, what will happen? If there is no fertilization, corpus luteum will be degenerated. Corpus luteum will be degenerated. Okay, that you have to notice. So after 7 days of ovulation, even after 7 days of ovulation, if there is no fertilization, if there is no fertilization, corpus luteum will be degenerated after 7 days of formation. After 7 days of formation, it will be remain up to 7 days, even there is no fertilization. After 7 days, corpus luteum will begin degeneration, and after degeneration, this corpus luteum will be modified into a white color scare, a white color scare or a white color body, which is known as corpus albicans. As already I mentioned, already we discussed this also. Corpus albicans. If fertilization cannot take place, the yellow color corpus luteum will be degenerated, and that leads to formation of a white color scare or a white color body, that is corpus albicans. Corpus albicans. Corpus albicans cannot secrete any hormones here. Okay. If fertilization takes place, corpus luteum will be maintained throughout the pregnancy. That will secrete the progesterone. Then progesterone will maintain the endometrium of uterus throughout the pregnancy. If fertilization cannot take place after 7 days of formation of corpus luteum, this corpus luteum will start degeneration and it will finally completely degenerated, and that leads to formation of a white color scare or a white color body which is known as corpus albicans. This corpus albicans cannot play any role in the secretion of hormones. Okay, it is just like a mole or just like a scare. How after healing a wound, how there will be scare. So like that here, after degeneration of corpus luteum, there is a corpus albicans. Corpus albicans indicates the location of degenerated corpus luteum. Okay, so that you have to remember. Now, due to lack of corpus luteum, there is no progesterone. If progesterone is not there, what will happen? There will be no chances for the secretion of nutritive fluids by uterine glands. Then prostaglandins will release into the uterus. That leads to degeneration of stratum functional of endometrium. So whenever the endometrium will be degenerated, that leads to menstrual flow. So that is the beginning of a next menstrual cycle. That is the beginning of next menstrual cycle. Is it clear? So here if fertilization takes place, what happens? If fertilization cannot take place, what will happen? If fertilization takes place, corpus luteum will be maintained throughout the pregnancy by the action of LH, and that will secrete the progesterone continuously. That progesterone will act on uterine gland and stimulates the secretion of nutritive fluids. Then corpus luteum, then endometrium will be maintained throughout the pregnancy for embryonic development. If there is no fertilization, after formation, after 7 days of formation of corpus luteum will begin degeneration, and after degeneration, corpus luteum will modifies into a white color scare or a white color body which is known as corpus albicans. Okay, after formation of corpus albicans, there is no secretion of progesterone. Due to lack of progesterone, the endometrium will be degenerated. Okay, so for the maintenance of endometrium for pregnancy, which is required? For the maintenance of endometrium for pregnancy, which hormone is required? Progesterone. Without progesterone, there is no chances for maintenance of endometrium for the pregnancy. Because of that, progesterone is known as pregnancy hormone. Progesterone is known as pregnancy hormone. Right? Now what will happen? At the ending of this, last phase, progesterone level also decreases. If there is no fertilization, corpus luteum will be degenerated, corpus albicans will form, progesterone level also decreases. Already 3 hormone levels are decreased. FSH, LH, estrogen are decreased. Now, if no fertilization takes place, which hormone will be decreased? That is, progesterone level will be decreased. If progesterone level will decrease, what will happen? That leads to degeneration of endometrium again. That leads to menstrual flow or bleeding. That is beginning of next menstrual cycle. That is the beginning of next menstrual cycle. That is the menstrual phase. In that, all hormone levels are less due to low concentrations of hormones that will act as a positive feedback mechanism. Again, what will happen? Hypothalamus secretes gonadotropin releasing hormones. That gonadotropin releasing hormones will act on adenohypophysis. Then FSH and LH will be secreted. That takes place in the second phase, that is the follicular phase or proliferative phase. Whenever the hormones will increase, whatever the changes that will take place here, already we discussed, right? There are the 4 phases in the menstrual cycle. 4 phases in the menstrual cycle of a female. Okay, in the female human being, there are 4 phases in the menstrual cycle that you have to notice here. Is it clear? Right. After completion of this, some menstrual disorders also we have to discuss. See, the graphical representation of menstrual cycle is important. We will discuss that later after completion of all these topics. After completion of all this, how to represent all these phases in the form of a graph. How to represent changes in the uterus, changes in the ovaries, changes in the pituitary hormone levels and changes in the uterine hormone levels. All that we will discuss later. Now, menstrual disorders. See, one thing you have to notice here, in the menstrual phase or bleeding phase, usually what is the quantity of blood that will be releases? Usually 40 to 80 ml of blood will be released in a female human being. So in the menstrual phase or bleeding phase, 40 to 80 ml of blood will be released. Okay, 40 to 80 ml of blood will be released. And whenever there is releasing of blood, that may lead to clotting. Blood will be clot. But during menstruation or during the bleeding phase, there is no clotting of blood. Why the blood is not clotted during the menstrual flow or during the bleeding phase? By the action of fibrolytic enzymes. Fibrolytic enzymes. The blood is not clotted during the menstrual flow. By the action of fibrolytic enzymes, the blood is not clotted during the bleeding phase or menstrual flow. So 40 to 80 ml blood will be usually in a normal female, in a normal condition, 40 to 80 ml blood will be sent out during the menstrual phase. Okay, that's clear about 4 phases. Once again, there are 4 phases in the menstrual cycle, which will be completed in 28 days of time. The first phase is menstrual phase or bleeding phase, are commonly known as menses. The second phase, proliferative phase or follicular phase, or estrogenic phase or pre-ovulatory phase. The third phase is ovulatory phase, and the fourth phase is secretory phase or luteal phase, or post-ovulatory phase or progesterogenic phase. Which is the longest phase in the menstrual cycle of female human being? That is secretory phase or luteal phase. Which is the shortest phase? Which is the shortest phase? That is the ovulatory phase. Which is the second longest phase? Which is the second longest phase? Follicular phase or proliferative phase. Which is the second shortest phase? That is the menstrual phase. That you have to notice. Okay. So in first phase, menstrual phase, due to reduce in the concentration of hormone levels, especially progesterone level, that leads to release of prostaglandins into the uterus. That prostaglandins will cause for severe contractions in the stratum functional of the uterus. That leads to degeneration of endometrium. This degenerated parts of endometrium along with cell debris and blood will be sent out through the vagina in the form of menstrual flow. This phase takes place from the beginning of from the first day of menstrual cycle to third or fifth day of menstrual cycle. So after completion of this phase, whenever hormone levels are very low in the body, that act as a positive feedback mechanism, and that will activate hypothalamus of the brain. Then hypothalamus secretes gonadotropin releasing hormones. Gonadotropin releasing hormones will act on adenohypophysis. Adenohypophysis. That adenohypophysis secretes FSH and LH. So in second phase, that is follicular phase or proliferative phase, the FSH and LH levels will be increases, and FSH will act on ovarian follicles of the ovary and stimulates the growth of ovarian follicles, leads to formation of Graafian follicle. So it is named as follicular phase. And LH will stimulate the proliferations in the degenerated part of the endometrium, but this will be continuous and provoke increases by the estrogen. Estrogen is secreted by developing follicles by theca interna. So in this second phase, follicular phase or proliferative phase, there is increase in the levels of 3 hormones, FSH, LH, and also estrogen. And 2 simultaneous events takes place in 2 different organs of the reproductive system, one in the ovary, another one in the uterus. In the ovary, growth of ovarian follicles and formation of Graafian follicle. In the uterus, the regeneration of endometrium takes place. And after that, at middle of the cycle, on 14th day, these hormone levels will reach to maximum, especially LH level will reach to its peaks. So whenever LH will reach to its maximum, or the peak level of LH is known as LH surge. That LH, when it reaches to its maximum, leads to rupture of Graafian follicle. Finally, that leads to release of secondary oocyte into the body cavity. That is known as ovulation. In human being, copulation is not required for the ovulation, so it is a spontaneous ovulation. Whereas if it occurs some mammals like rabbit, copulation is required for the ovulation. Only after copulation, the release of ovum takes place. That is the induced ovulation. But in human beings, spontaneous ovulation takes place. Ovulation may takes place at the middle of the cycle, that is 14th day, but it is not same in all the female. It varies from one female to another female because it will depends mainly on the hormonal regulation and the hormone levels in the body. It may take place between 10th to 17th day of menstrual cycle. So it is the unsafe period of menstrual cycle. If any copulation or coitus takes place between these phases, that may lead to pregnancy. So in birth control methods, in periodic abstinence method, which is a natural method of birth control, avoiding of pregnancy. So if a couple will avoid copulation between 10th to 17th day of menstrual cycle, there will be no chances for the pregnancy. So there are two safe periods and one unsafe period in the menstrual cycle. Before 10th, 1st to 10th day, that is actually 5th to 10th day, safe period, and after that 18th to 28th day is the safe period, but unsafe period is 10th to 17th day, that is completed. And after completion of that, secretory phase or luteal phase. See, the ruptured Graafian follicle will modify into a yellow color body known as corpus luteum. This corpus luteum acts as a temporary endocrine gland and secretes progesterone hormone. Okay, so it is named as luteal phase. In this phase, the three hormones which reach its maximum in the ovulatory phase will be decreases. Okay, so that is clear, understood? And after completion of that, whenever these three hormones levels are reached to maximum, that will be slowly reduced here, completely reduced here, because it shows as a negative feedback mechanism that reduces these three hormone levels, FSH, LH, and estrogen, but progesterone levels will be increases here, and this progesterone will act on uterine glands and causes for the secretion of nutritive fluids, which are essential for the maintenance of endometrium for the pregnancy, as already I told you, right? If there is no fertilization, corpus luteum will be degenerated and it will modify into corpus albicans, then there will be no secretion of progesterone. If progesterone cannot be secreted, then what will happen? There is no chances for the secretion of nutritive fluids in the uterus. Then there will be release of prostaglandins in the uterus that leads to degeneration of endometrium, that leads to menstruation again, that leads to menstrual flow again. That is the beginning of the next menstrual cycle. So here that you have to notice here, in a healthy female, 40 to 80 ml of blood will be sent during the menstrual phase. Okay, and the blood will be not clotted during the menstrual flow or bleeding phase because of fibrolytic enzymes which avoid the clotting of blood. That you have to remember. What we discussed in this class, we discussed the menstrual cycle in the female primates. That's clear. So some students are asking what is atretic follicle. What is atretic follicle? So what is atretic follicles? As already I gave you, there is formation of more number of primary follicles in the ovaries during the fetal life, but in between birth and puberty, majority of the follicles, majority of the primary follicles will be degenerated, and after puberty, only 60 to 80,000 follicles will be remain. So there is formation of 6 lakhs. Usually they mentioned differently in some books, 6 lakhs to 4 million they mentioned, but the data which is considerably 6 lakh, that you have to remember. So 6 lakh follicles are formed in each ovary in the fetal life. 6 lakh primary follicles are formed in each ovary in the fetal life, but in these 6 lakh follicles, how many will be remain after puberty? That is 60 to 80,000 only. So in 6 lakh primary follicles, majority of that will be degenerated in between birth and puberty. So the degeneration of primary follicle is known as follicular atresia or atretic follicles. Atretic follicle means that is a degenerated follicle. Atretic follicle means degenerated follicle. So the degeneration of primary follicles in between birth and puberty is known as follicular atresia or atretic follicles. That you should remember. So in next class, we will discuss about The menstrual disorders. See, in sometimes there is absence of menstrual cycle, or there is over bleeding in the menstrual cycle, or there is repetition of menstrual cycle in a short period of time. It cannot take place 28 days of time. Sometimes the female cannot complete menstrual cycle within 28 days. It will take a long period of time. So that type of menstrual disturbances or menstrual disorders are there. We will discuss about menstrual disorders, and after completion of that menstrual disorders, we will discuss the graphical representation of menstrual cycle, how to represent menstrual cycle in the form of a graph. The two topics we will discuss in next class, and after that we will start the next topic, fertilization and implantation. Thank you.